All right. Well, I just wanted to first say thank you to Tony. For those of you who haven't met him before, Tony's been a longtime Jam AI member and then turned into a friend, and he's just been really an amazing resource for all of us on our accountability calls every Friday. He's always bringing a new tool, and one of my big goals for this year is to bring more experts to Club Jam. So Tony's going to be one of a few AI experts who are joining us to share tips and tricks and resources because, there's so much out there to learn, and I don't want Club Jam to be all about what's in this head. I want it to be, what's out there with other AI experts. So super excited to bring Tony in. And yeah, thank you, Tony, for doing this. And I'll hand it over to you.
Well, you're very welcome. And the only reason Jam says that I'm an expert is because most of my own intelligence is artificial. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, or at least make the attempt.
All right.
All right, so we're going to get started. And as Jam said, thank you very much indeed for coming tonight. I'm very pleased to see you, some familiar faces and some new faces, and that's great. Okay, so first thing we're going to look at is something you may already know about, but a lot of people I found don't know this. And that has to do with, well, let me just ask you, and you can use your mics or the chat. How many of you have created images with AI image generators and you've had text on the images and it's come out all wonky?
Yeah,
I haven't.
The Queen of Wonk.
all the time.
Okay. Okay. Natalie says, I've created logos, but not other images. No work. Okay. So I'm going to show you a fun and easy way to solve the problem with wonky text. So you see here, this is an image for a book cover done in Canva. And this one, the text is okay. It says the paranormal across an archipelago, ancient aliens and other mysteries of Indonesia. But one of the other ones that it did was this, the paranormal across an archipelago, Andiental Other mysteries of Indonesia. And right. And unfortunately, this is the one that the client liked. And we had this messy text here. Well, the fun part is that we can take our image with the bad text and we can go into Canva and I'm going to drag the image. Oh, there's some people in the waiting room.
Oh, there are.
Pardon?
Oh, I got it.
Okay, great. Oh, there's four more otters as well. Okay, so I'm going to take that image and I'm going to drag it into Canva. Okay, so here is our image that says Andiental Othio Mysteries of Indonesia. But if we click on it and go edit and then go to Magic Studio and choose one of my favorite tools, grab text. So you see it's now selected the text. We click on that and go grab. And now that text is ours to do with what we wish. And it's the same font. It even tells us the font. We can make it bigger or smaller, but most importantly, we can fix it. I'm actually going to move it down here so I can see it better. So we can just go and across an archipelago. Oh, it was aliens and other mysteries. So we'll just change that. And change that to other. So you see how useful that is? Because it means, you're not worried or don't have to be concerned if text is messed up on an image because you can just change it. In this instance, I'd put a black background behind there and make it transparent so we could actually see the text better. But we've got a lot to cover tonight, so I won't do that right now. I want to show you one other thing. You might or might not know about this, but this is even cooler, I think. And that is, you see this thing here? We can also go edit, and this time we'd go magic grab. And there it is. And then we go grab. And now, even though this is baked into the original image, it's now ours to do with what we wish. Isn't that cool?
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I use it sometimes for logos as well, because you can just really fine tune them to get exactly the way you want. And let's go a stage further. Let's delete this guy, and let's go again, edit. And this time we'll go to magic edit. And we'll choose our brush size, and we'll create an area that we're going to do something in. And I'm going to write a large green frog, generate. So it gives us a bunch of different frogs to choose from. And if we don't like any of them, we can say, do it again, or we can give it more information. But let's say we choose this guy and we go done. Now we've got a problem because this frog is now baked into the image, but we want him really down here and we want him to be of different size. Well, all we do is we go back to edit and Magic Studio and looking for Magic Grab. Where is it hiding?
Oh, right next to it. There
Oh,
it
there
is.
it is. Great, thanks. And there it is. So we go grab and we can get our green frog and place him down here, make him a bit smaller. So you see, we've now, with this, doing it this way, we've got complete control. It doesn't matter if an image has text baked in or other parts baked in. We can mess it around as much as we like. Saves a lot of time. Oh, thanks. I'm just seeing the comments. Cool. Yeah, I agree. Okay. So we're going to go out of here now. And we're actually going to go, this original image was done in Ideogram. So let's go to Ideogram, because Ideogram, how many of you guys are familiar with Ideogram? Good. So it's one of the best. It's definitely my go-to. I did it recently. I built a tool that kind of analyzes and compares and recommends the best of the 24 best image generators. And the fact that there were 24 that were good was tough. But Ideogram is the one that's my go-to. It's the one I go to first because I can usually get what I want pretty quickly. Okay, so what they introduced this week is a new feature called character. And with character, what you can do is you can upload headshots of your friends or whoever and make them a character. And then there's a lot of fun things you can do. So I'm going to show you a couple. So here, if you remember, we had this character, and we were able to put that character, no matter what angle his face was at or whatever, we're able to put him in a different background, in any background we like. So this friend of mine, I put him in a battle. And this friend of mine, I put her on a pirate ship. And I also put her on the front cover of a magazine. And it's kind of fun because, as I say, it doesn't matter whether they're facing forward or sideways or whatever. The AI is smart enough to fix it around. And I'm going to show you a couple of fun things that you can do once you have these. So you can or at least what I did is I took that image that we'd taken the first part from Ideogram and then put it into another background. And then I took it into Runway. If you're not familiar with Runway, Runway ML is a tool that can do a lot of different things, but one of the fun things it can do is it can take an image and turn it into a video. So this is what happened. With that one. And then there was another one. So you can imagine the fun you can have grabbing your friends and putting them in the most unlikely places and then writing and saying, hey, I really liked what you were doing in that battle in 1643. And they go, what? And then they look at it and flip out. Fun, huh?
A new hobby.
Right. So there are some things that I often find myself wanting to do. Oh, there's a question there. Roya says, did you use Kling for all of the videos? Actually, for the first one on the pirate ship, I used Runway ML. For the second one, with the guy with the sword, that was Kling. Because Kling adds audio, like VO3 does. And Runway doesn't. So on Runway, I had to dump the whole thing into a little free program called Audio, which just then added the audio. Nancy's asking a question about putting yourself into a video. I'll answer that at the end in the question and answer section. So one of the things I often find myself wanting to do is if I get a new software tool or a new program, and I maybe bought it because it has a particular feature that I really wanted and really needed. The only problem is when I open it, it's got 20 menus with another 20 submenus, and trying to find the exact thing that I want to use. And also very often when I finally do find it, there's no instructions. And so I don't have time for that. So luckily there's a tool that is incredibly helpful. Yeah, multiple menus and submenus to search through, etc. So another thing is debugging technical problems. You know, if you've got a technical problem on your system or anywhere or in some programs or wherever, you can lose a lot of time writing a support ticket and waiting for a response, or explaining and going back and forth with a chatbot what you're trying to solve, what you're running into, all your system details and everything, and spending time searching Google, searching forums, etc. And I've wasted a lot of time doing that, but no more, because Google AI Studio came out. And Google AI Studio is this amazing tool. It does so many things and they keep adding things. And so how you get to it is you put Google AI Studio into Google, and this comes up as the first item. And you click on it and you find yourself in Google AI Studio. And the first thing I'm going to show you is kind of the solution to what I was talking about before in terms of trying to find out how to operate a piece of new software or trying to get tech support on something. If I go into here, this is basically Gemini, Google's Gemini. And this section is the kind of the chat section. But if I go here to stream real time, and then I click share your screen, I can then share one of my screens. And before I show you what's about to happen, I'll explain that when I was doing this, when I filmed this, I've shared the screen very small in the bottom right-hand corner, but you can share it as big as you like. But anyway, you'll see what happens is I share the screen with Google AI Studio, and suddenly there's an AI there, and he's looking at my screen and understanding it. And I can ask him questions, and he can give me the answers, as you'll see.
Okay, I see a slide presentation about the evolution of writing tools. It has images of a quill, a typewriter, a computer, and a robot representing different eras. The text says AI is just a tool, and that humans are the source of creativity. Is there anything specific you would like me to comment about this slide?
Well, yeah, I just need your help on one thing. It's very often I need to take the formatting of one part of a slide and use that same formatting somewhere else on a different slide. I know there's a tool called Format Painter, but I can never remember where it is or how to use it. Can you help?
Yes, I can help with that. You're looking for the Format Painter tool, which allows you to copy the formatting from one part of a slide and apply it to another. In PowerPoint, it's located on the Home tab. In the Clipboard group, it's the icon that looks like a paintbrush. To use it, first select the text or object with the formatting you want to copy, click the Format Painter icon, then click on the text or object where you would like to apply the formatting. Is there anything else I can help with?
Let me try that right now, and I'll see.
Okay, I'll be here if you need any more assistance.
Okay.
Okay, I see that you have selected the title of the slide. Now you can click the Format Painter and apply that formatting to another part of the presentation. Let me know if you need more help.
And it works.
I'm glad I can help.
Okay. Thanks again. I'll see you later.
Okay, have a good one.
You too. So you see that it just told me, what to do. And I did it and it worked. And the thing is that I can apply that to any piece of software that I want to know how to use, which is for me frequent. But also I can even apply it to things that just seem like bugs or the things that I'm having difficulty doing. Like, for instance, recently I had 3 things on my computer that just weren't working as I wanted them to. And I was hunting around, didn't want to go through tech support and leave a message and wait, 2 days to hear back. So I was hunting around online, Google and forums and whatever, trying to find solutions, and I couldn't. So I finally just said, hey, to hell with it. And I asked Google AI Studio, and it solved all 3 of them in minutes. So I find this tool very, very useful, and I think you will too. Okay, so do you guys see the value of Google AI Studio, at least in this particular instance? Is it something you could use?
I want to go check it out right after this.
Cool. Yeah, I love this tool. It's just very, very useful. Okay, but it does more. Wait, there's a free Ginsu knife. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So over here in the top right-hand corner is where you choose all the different language models or the different AIs that you can. So here, if I choose Flash image generation and go to the image section, I can either create an image or I can upload an image of my own, and then I can say, add some chocolate drizzle to the croissants. And it keeps the image exactly as it is in the original one, but just adds what you wanted to add. Because there's a lot of image tools, when you ask it to change something, it changes things that you don't want to change. But this tool doesn't, which is very cool. So for instance, here, I said, give me an elephant in a river with its trunk in the water. And then I said, change it to the elephant with its trunk out of the water and spraying water into the air. Keep the element the same size and the same distance to the camera. So it did that. So it's the same elephant, but just doing something different. Everything else is the same, which I find very cool and very, very useful. And it also generates videos. It's got VO2 and more recently VO3. It also has pretty much the best text-to-speech generator that I've heard anywhere. It's really, really good for that. You can build apps with it now, and it'll do things like, one of the differences is when you want to analyze a video and maybe get a summary of a video, all the other tools will do it from a transcription. They won't actually watch the video. This one actually watches the video. So it's a much deeper understanding of your video, and then you can ask it questions about that. And the next thing we're going to look at in a moment, we're going to see something to do with that. Another thing that Google AI Studio you can do is you can say, hey, here's a picture of the front page of my website. give me an analysis of what I could do to make it convert better. And it's pretty insightful. Okay, so now we're going to go back online. And this is another tool within the Google environment. And I'm not a paid representative of Google at all. I just like using some of their tools a lot and a lot of other people's tools. Okay, Roy says, am I in the free plan? Yes, I'm in the free plan on this one. Now, this is Notebook LM, which is basically a lot of different notebooks that you can create, but there's so much more because I'm going to demonstrate. So I was looking into natural ways to lower blood pressure. And I looked around on YouTube and I found about 50 videos on the subject. And I don't have time to watch 50 videos on a subject I'm researching. You know, that could be 25 to 50 hours. So with Notebook LM, you can just dump the URLs of the videos into it. And over here on the left is, I don't know, about 20 or 30, oh, actually, maybe more, I don't know, 30 videos, plus websites, plus all sorts of other stuff that are all dumped into this repository of data and information. And you can also tell it to discover things. You know, you can say, okay, go out on the web and find me 20 more on this particular subject I'm researching. Now, once all your information is in here, there's some amazing things you can do. And I'm going to leave the really amazing ones to last. But here we go with, it will go through all of these in a few seconds and come up with a document that summarizes, breaks them down into categories and sections, and summarizes all the information. So that's one of the things that it'll do. But it'll also create an FAQ. What are some key lifestyle modifications? And a whole bunch of answers, then another question, and a whole bunch of answers. It will create study guides. It will create timelines of discoveries, etc., that happened in that area. And it will create mind maps. Where it breaks down all the key points into an overview. But of course, you can just ask it. One of you just ask a question about natural ways to lower blood pressure, and let's see what it does. You can put your microphone on.
What supplements should we take to lower blood pressure?
Okay. And it's going to say 54 cans of beer.
Extra cheese.
Exactly.
I was thinking pot.
Oh, okay.
Or that.
So what it's doing now is it's going through 50 videos on a whole bunch of websites, and it's coming up with potassium and magnesium and explaining why, the recommended amount and cautions and vitamin D, fish oil. But so you can basically ask anything. You can chat with the information. You can ask it anything you want. So as a research tool, it's wonderful. Also, well, the next thing I'm going to show you, I'll explain how I use it in a moment. But it will take a couple of AI people, and they will go through all this, and they'll summarize it in a conversation. They'll make a mini podcast, and here it comes, I think.
Hey everyone, welcome to a deep dive today all about blood pressure. More specifically, we're diving into natural ways to lower those numbers. You know, you gave us a really interesting set of sources this time around.
Yeah, we've got advice straight from cardiologists, some really interesting research summaries, even a few
my
personal
goodness.
stories.
And that's what makes these deep dives so fun, right? You get the whole picture.
Yeah.
So today we're sifting through all of it to figure out what really works.
Yeah. What does the science actually say?
what strategies actually move the needle and what's worth talking to your doctor about.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, maybe we should start by just defining what we're talking about.
But guess what? You see this thing that says interactive?
Hey, everyone. Welcome to a deep dive today, all about blood pressure. More specifically, we're diving into natural ways. Oh, our listeners got something to share. Let's hear it.
Yeah. What do the kidneys have to do with high blood pressure?
Oh, that's a great question. And it's a really important connection when we talk about blood pressure.
Absolutely. The kidneys play a super crucial role in regulating blood pressure.
Yeah, they're like the body's control center for fluid and salt balance, which directly impacts your blood pressure.
What's fascinating here is that your kidneys secrete hormones like renin and angiotensin.
Isn't that amazing?
Love it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And then this week, they just added a new feature. So I'm going to go to, I think it's this one. Yeah, they added a new feature where they'll take all your information and make it into a video.
All right, let's talk about AI image generation. The whole space is just exploding, right? It feels like every single week there's a new model, a new promise, and honestly, a whole lot of confusion. Is this stuff a real game changer for creative people, or is it just an overhyped tech fantasy? Let's dive in and try to separate what's real from what's just noise. Okay, so first off, just look at this picture. Seems like a pretty decent food photo, something you'd see in a magazine. Well, surprise. This entire image, the cheese, the pepperoni, the lighting, all of it was created by an AI in less than 10 seconds. This is the kind of quality we're dealing with now. It's a massive leap from those weird, distorted, nightmare-fuel images from just a few years ago.
And believe me, this isn't some niche hobby for tech nerds.
So you get the idea. They keep adding things to this tool, and it's getting very interesting. And this is the free version. The free version, you can have 100 notebooks. That was one notebook. Actually, there were two that we covered there, with 50 sources, up to 500,000 words each, up to 50 chat queries, and 3 audio generations per day. The Plus version, which is 20 a month, 500 notebooks with 300 sources, up to 500 chat queries, 20 audio generations per day, and notebook sharing. I haven't come close to using up the free version.
Can I add something? I think that this new explainer video thing it came out with, tool stacking that with Canva and the stuff that you showed us tonight, because I tried out the explainer video and I was like, meh. But
Yeah,
it's really a great template. You download it and throw it into Canva, and then you could put your own spin on it there.
that's brilliant, because I had the same reaction to you. I looked at the images it was generating and I went, no thanks. But the actual, what he said was really good. So you're right. Add the images from Canva and you've got the best of both. Okay, so that's what we're going to cover tonight.
Awesome. Thank you, Tony.
You're
Now we had
very-
a couple questions pop up. Let me find the one.
Yeah, and on these questions,
I had a whole bunch of questions.
oh, okay. Jam, I want to just mention on these questions, you're very welcome to answer whichever ones you like as well, because you have a wealth of knowledge in many of these areas too.
Why, thank you. I want to hear from you though. Nancy had a question. She was talking about, is there a version of this tool, which was Google AI Studio, that is secure with your client's data, like team subscriptions to ChatGPT?
You know, I haven't personally looked into the security aspects. I know Google is pretty strong in that area, but I haven't personally checked it. Have you?
I have not checked that at all.
No, so that
But-
one,
I have to be careful if I'm doing something for a client that's client data that it doesn't
of course.
shit right. And so, but there's different versions a lot of times of subscriptions that will give it to where information isn't shared with the model or stays on your desktop or something like that. So I was wondering if you knew that.
No, I haven't
Yeah.
checked into that.
I'm
Okay.
sure. And then
Notebook LM, I'm sorry, I was just scrolling, looking at it when Jam put the link up there. If you scroll all the way down, it says, we value your privacy and do not use your personal data to train Notebook LM, including your source uploads, queries, and responses from the model for training. Now,
Right,
it
Yeah.
says, but yeah,
Yeah.
right.
It's a good
But the
start.
reality is any software you use sort of does that, but then I could quote that for a client, right? So that it doesn't, so.
Sure. That's a
Yeah.
good idea.
Yeah.
But so it's like that sort of thing. I have to consider that level of security. My earlier question, and I have a whole slew more, so if somebody wants to add one first, jump in. But what's the best tool? And it might be this one, or at least now this one. Let's say I wanted to make some videos, but I'm tired of like flubbing up a line or worrying about lighting and all that stuff. So it'd be nicer to just have something like, have this tool make the video for me so I don't have to do that or hire a videographer or anything like that. That I could use my image, my voice, and give it my script like that or something, that it would do the video. What would be the best tool for that, or is it not there yet?
Well, there's more and more of them coming out all the time. In terms of the ones that where you can put in a script and have it create the whole video for you, there are tools like InVideo and Veed, and CapCut now has even got that capability. Descript can do it. Another tool is called V-Roll. But where you want to have you in it, that's called avatars. And the best I've seen has been HeyGen, where you can just take a shot of you and combine it with a tool called 11 Labs for the audio to clone your voice.
Okay.
And then your avatar will look and sound like you and say whatever you ask it to say as part of your script.
So what was the one that did the picture and I've heard of 11 Labs for the voice, but what was the one you said for the
Hey,
For the,
Jen.
pardon?
It's called Hey, Jen. I
Oh,
could,
hey Jen. Yeah, I know
yeah,
that one. Okay.
yeah. And another tip is I like to actually speak my script so it's still me talking,
Uh-huh.
because then it brings in all of my, our characteristics of
Inflections.
how we
Yeah.
speak. Yes. Couldn't think of the word. And yeah, so I think that really helps.
absolutely. And these tools are changing every week. And something that looked great last week suddenly looks hokey compared to what came out today. So in a year's time, it's going to be amazing. But it's already definitely at the point where you can replace yourself in videos and have it pretty convincing.
Does anyone else have questions?
I have a quick question. So, here, hopefully you can see me. The free version that Tony's using, are you using your personal account or do you have a Google Workspace for your business that you actually have to pay? Because Google is making you pay more money now for a whole bunch of stuff, and one of them is AI.
That's a really good question, because I have a Google Workspace account and I have my personal account. And I also got that thing recently that said the price is going up. And I honestly don't know. I think here I'm using my
Personal, I think.
personal. Yeah, I'm using my personal here.
Yeah, and I know going back to the privacy question, I think anything that any AI let us use, the payback for them is to use our data. Now, to what level to be seen, but once you are on a paid tier, then they can't. It's your
Right.
data. So
Well, some paid tiers it still does, or at least in Chat GPT, right? But in others, like the pro version or whatever, and then you could use it as, and have it be almost like a desktop assistant and not worry that it's capturing
yeah, if you
client data.
onto your desktop, then it's not sharing anything. But if you're on the platform, yeah, kind of sort of has to be the paid, whether it's ChatGPT, even
Right,
I think because Claude was built on the premise of privacy, right? And not
right.
trained on any one specific data. But with all the new stuff, the MCP you're putting, who knows what's being shared. And especially if it's for our clients, that's different. But in general rule, everything AI nowadays say, be sure, do not share anything you don't ever want it to get out. So that kind of
Right.
tells.
Absolutely. I just want to mention a couple of things that I learned this week that might be useful. These things you might already know. It just happened I didn't. And one of them was I was working with ChatGPT and I was trying to get it to write a little bit of code for me for something that I was trying to do. And it kept saying, okay, here it is. And I'd try it and it would fail. And so it would say, oh, I know what that is. Do this. And it would write something else and that would fail. And each time that it was doing something else, it was trying to solve the problem from the previous thing. So it ended up being this really complex mess of one piece of code trying to fix another piece of code and then another one trying to fix those two. And after a while of this, I got really fed up and said, no, this is not working. And then I suddenly had this thought, well, I wonder if I can get a second opinion. So I opened up a totally new instance of ChatGPT and I asked the same question. And this instance of ChatGPT gave me a real simple, 100% workable answer immediately, wrote me the script and it worked. So I hadn't actually been bright enough to realize that before that I could do that I could get a second opinion from ChatGPT. So that was,
Yeah. Yeah, it does do that, but I'm wondering, did you change from like the default, the 4.0 to like 3.0? Are you paid version or you're a free version?
I'm using the plus version and no, I didn't change.
You didn't? It was the same. Yeah. And you know, another thing is that after a while, I think ChatGPT, if the chat is too long, it starts acting up. That's it,
Oh
my
yeah.
first.
Yeah, definitely. Claude does that as well. And the other thing I learned today, which I'd been suspecting for a while, you know, these multiple tools like Poe and Monica and Abacus and Polio and Crea and WaveSpeed, all these tools that have multiple different,
Aggregator.
yeah, the aggregating different GPTs and different image generators and different video generators, all for $20 a month. And they say, see, you don't have to buy all these separate tools because you can have them all in one for the price of one. And what I'm finding over and over is that what they are is very stripped down versions of the real thing with many missing capabilities because and I asked ChatGPT about it today and it said, yeah, absolutely. What they do is they release a certain amount of functionalities in the API, but they keep all the good stuff to themselves. So when you buy one of these aggregators, you're getting a pretty weak version of the real thing.
Yeah, you're basically buying 2023 AI
Yeah.
those platforms.
I know, but even when they say, say it's the very latest version, yeah, but it's only like 40% of the very latest version.
Yeah.
I think it's for people to kind of, if they haven't or they don't have a particular, let's say, LLM they want to choose or a particular, image generation they want to use, is try a whole bunch and see what
Exactly.
works for them and then go get the real thing.
Exactly. And in fact, in ChatGPT's answer to me, it said exactly the same thing. It said, yes, there is a place and time for them. And it described what you just described.
And out of curiosity, you know how you use Runway? I have used Runway, but it appears to me like Runway is kind of an aggregator as well, isn't it?
No, they have their own technology. Talking of which, did you see what they released this last week? Aleph?
What's that?
Oh, it's unbelievable. You know how a lot of these tools have a function called in-painting. And Jacqueline, I see your raised hand. You've been very patient. I will get to you in a second. But yeah, a lot of these tools have this function called in-painting, which we actually did with the frog earlier in Canva, where you can take an area and ask it to paint something into that area. Well, Aleph is like inpainting on steroids, because you can say, make the whole video is in the summer on a beach, make it in the snow in the Antarctic, and add these penguins over here and add a mammoth over here, and it'll do all this stuff and change your video into whatever you want it to do. It makes video editing unbelievable.
Can you do one presentation for runway alone? That would be amazing.
Can you do what?
A presentation for us on runway, just all the
sure.
things.
Sure. Well, actually, I was planning the next one to be on image and video generators, because they're so amazing in what they can do now, some of them.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, well, sorry, Jacqueline.
Wait. Yeah.
Jacqueline,
I was going to say, Jacqueline has a question.
Yes, go for it.
When you were when you first started out in AI Studio, could you go back to your screen and show where you began? You know how you, because I think I got a lower tier than yours because I just went to check to see if I could find that the starting point. So where did you start when you were asking it to look at you showed it the video? Was that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, when I showed it my stream? When I showed it my screen and asked it to...
Yeah, when you showed it your screen.
Okay,
Yeah,
what
that
you do
part.
there is you click here on stream, and then you go, and then you go share screen.
But I really like that part where you took all those videos and dropped them in Notebook. And because there's some things I want to learn about Canva that I don't have a whole lot of time to be trying to decipher Google Sheets. I need it to be broken down simply and quickly.
Hey, this is a good moment. If you have something you want to learn about, Tony and I are both planning our training, so just put it in the community chat. So like, hey, I really want you guys to do a video on Canva or whatever it is. And not promising we'll do it, but it's good to have these suggestions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, well, thank you guys for being a very attentive and inspirational audience. A lot of great feedback. I really enjoyed talking with you.
Can
Thank
I
you
ask
for sharing.
Can I ask a question? Would it be possible in the future to have the AI companion in Zoom turned on? So like we can ask questions as we are learning. So what was the excerpt and stuff like that? Or maybe if you could do it and then send it to us or post it with the video when you do it.
Yeah, a sign just popped up saying this meeting is being transcribed for AI companion. Don't show this again.
Oh, I just pushed the button. I thought that was you know what? I always thought that was an individual feature.
No, I was pressing
Mm.
it because I wanted to
For
see if it
yourself.
was activated, but it said it had to be activated by the host. So
Oh, well, that's good to know. We sure will, for sure. And this one will be posted in the community under Classroom. We're going to put all of the live trainings in there, so that'll be in here shortly.
Oh, I just saw a question right at the very end in the chat, and I do want to answer it.
Yeah.
Nancy says, can you do a video on how to do vibe coding or some other sort of program to
Right,
build?
that was for the future. You said post some things you want to learn for the future. I didn't expect you to do
but
it
I
in
just
2 minutes here.
I just want to tell you, this last week I've been having an absolute blast vibe coding, and I'm blown away with what you can create doing it without having to know any coding whatsoever. I've created 2 complete software as a service websites that are so complex and powerful with multiple databases, things that would take, I would have to hire a developer to do in 3 months.
Yeah.
I did in 2 hours. I'm just completely blown away with vibe coding. So yeah, I'd love to do one on that.
Hey, Tony, what platform are you using for that?
I'm currently going back and forth between Lovable and Replit. They're both similar, but they have pluses and minuses. I'm also checking one called Leap, which is very powerful.
Oh, yeah.
But it's about 4 times the price of Replit or
it's a Leap.
Yeah, right. But
Yeah.
Lovable, I had no idea it could do. It's kind of like everything I would ask it to do, no matter how complicated, it would just say yeah, and it would go off and do it. And I'd go, whoa, things that I didn't expect it could possibly do, and it would just do them. It's pretty
The
extraordinary.
entire Clubhouse website, I just put the link in there, was built on Lovable. And there's multiple databases and GitHub and Supabase that it's connected to. And
Yeah.
I love Lovable, but I am checking out Bolt 44 right now as well for apps. So I'll be coming back to you with some of that information. But I agree, Tony. Lovable, like it always says yes. That's why it's called Lovable.
It's lovable.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
My question would be, I have a software engineer in India. I used to have two, now I just have one. We're a small business. We have 15 employees. And so I've got custom software that's been developed over many years. Does it even make sense to have a developer anymore when there's tools like Lovable that I really feel like these programmers just they get you hooked and they do these little incremental changes every week and you get this really big bill every month. And I feel like, I don't know, handcuffed to that expense every month.
Yeah, well, Jam actually gave a really good description of how she used to work with chain smoking, coffee drinking programmers who were very frustrating, right, Jam?
Yeah, exactly. I think, Jim, to answer your question, I don't think it's at a point where an average person with no experience understanding what to ask of developers can use Lovable and Bolt 44 in place of an actual developer or person at this point. It's one of those things like you have to know exactly what to ask for. You have to know how to get around like GitHub and repositories and understand that sort of thing. But if you're just doing simple things like HTML content on web pages that just is, not doing anything else, then I think you can totally do it yourself.
Thank you.
Well, I'm not a programmer, and I had it do, really complex stuff.
Wow.
And the thing is, every now and again, it would run into a bug or something that didn't work. And normally, you'd have to ask the programmer to try and fix it or whatever. It looks at it and goes, oh, let me fix this. And it fixes it, which is great.
Yeah, it's so
Yes.
kind.
The tricky thing would be to try to teach it your custom because yours is custom.
Yeah.
So it would have to learn your custom. So keep teaching that one on the side while you got the programmer.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Okay, well, do you want to wrap up, Jam?
Sure. Thank you everyone for joining. And our next one is Friday morning. We do accountability meetings, and there's also some AI talk in there as well. So join us for that, and then check your calendar for the next Learning with Tony and Building with Jam. There's going to be more added here shortly as well. So thanks again and have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye,
That was
everybody.
terrific. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.